Healthy eating is always important, but even more so now that you're pregnant. It's a matter of choosing the right types of foods, and sometimes the supermarket can be overwhelming with so much choice on offer. But remember, it's quality over quantity every time. We're not talking about eating for two, but choosing the right types of foods for you and your baby. I'm joined today by Emer in the supermarket, and Emer is 6.5 months pregnant. Congratulations, Emer.
Thank you.
And we're going to have a look around and fill up our trolley as we go, so let's go and have a look. Okay, Emer, so we're here in the lovely breads and bakery section of the supermarket, and as you can see, there are a huge number of options now to choose from. So these foods are important for energy, and we're going to really build a food pyramid for pregnancy in our trolley today. So the bottom shelf of the food pyramid, these foods are important for energy, for you and for your growing baby. So the best choice here would be some nice wholemeal or whole grain bread. There are lots of different varieties to go for. Then other options would be pita pockets. They've become really popular now as well. So they're very useful to have. You can keep them in the freezer and just take one out and pop it into the toaster if you need something quite quickly. And also bagels, which again have become very popular. So bagels are a great option, maybe with a bowl of homemade soup for your lunch. So I'm going to put all of those in here, and that starts us off with the bottom shelf of the food pyramid.
And I eat a little bit of white bread during pregnancy. Is that okay, or should I avoid it altogether?
No, Emer, white bread is fine from time to time. We all enjoy nice, fresh, crusty white bread. However, it is lower in fibre, so it's a good idea to go for the whole grain or wholemeal varieties more often, because constipation can be a problem during pregnancy. Lots of seeds and nuts on your bread is really the way to go. And as you can see, there's a huge array to choose from here in the supermarket.
Yeah, great.
So also on this shelf of the food pyramid, Emer, we have pasta and rice. Okay, so we're going to pick up some pasta and rice for our trolley here. Any type of pasta shape, whatever you go for. There's really so many options now in the supermarket, so I'm going to pop some of this pasta in here. Also, it's a good idea to go for, again, brown varieties. So I've put in some white, regular pasta, but some brown rice, okay? So really it's a good idea to get more fibre into your diet. So when you are choosing, choose some brown rice or brown pasta from time to time.
And what about something like couscous? I'd have that in a salad. Is that okay?
Yes, couscous is a great option. Again, for variety, it's another grain in the diet, which is a really good source of energy. So I'll pop some couscous in the trolley here, which is a great option. The other group of foods then are our breakfast cereals, and porridge I've chosen from this group because it's really a great breakfast cereal. It's been a family favourite for generations, and you can't really go wrong. It's low in fat, it's high in fibre, and it's a great start to the day.
I don't actually really like porridge. What would be a good alternative
Okay,
for cereal?
there are lots of choices. You can go for muesli. Some of the mueslis are a really good source of energy, and some of them have nuts and dried fruit in them as well. And again, the high fibre cereals. Don't go for the sugar-coated breakfast cereals, but choose something which has more bran or more brown, less processed varieties of cereals, and they're really the best option during pregnancy.
Okay.
Potatoes are also part of the bottom shelf of the food pyramid, Emer, so they're an Irish favourite. Again, any way you like to cook them, they're a great source of energy, so I'm going to pop them in the trolley here. It's a good idea to bake or boil potatoes, really keep the fat out of the diet. We're going to try and have a low-fat diet as well, which is important. So not chips or roasted as often, go for a plainer variety of cooking. So they're all our main sources of energy here from the bottom shelf of the food pyramid. And you should be getting 6 or more servings of these foods every day to make sure you're getting enough energy for you and your growing baby. Fruits and vegetables are the next shelf on the food pyramid, Emer. So we're here surrounded by an array of fruits and vegetables, a huge section in the supermarket. And really, whatever you enjoy from this shelf, it's a good idea to eat 5 or more portions a day.
Okay.
So really, every meal you should have some type of fruit and vegetable in your meal, and at dinner time have lots of vegetables on your plate. Half of your plate should be full of vegetables to ensure you're getting enough of these important vitamins and minerals.
And what would an average size portion be?
Okay, an average portion would be a piece of fruit. So if you have a pear, a small banana would be a piece of fruit, so I'll pop that in the trolley here. The smaller fruits, maybe 2 small Satsuma oranges would be 1 portion, so I'll put that here. A couple of tablespoons of carrots with your dinner or with broccoli. The green leafy vegetables, the dark green vegetables, are also a great source of iron in the diet, which is important for pregnant women. So I'm going to put some broccoli in here, and maybe we have some packet of spinach. Spinach is a good source of iron too.
Okay.
And also, when you're including iron from these foods, vitamin C increases your body's absorption of iron. So vitamin C and iron go hand in hand. So all of the vegetables and fruits which contain vitamin C, are a great choice in your diet.
Okay.
Strawberries are a great choice and everybody enjoys them. Maybe on your breakfast cereal in the morning, slice a few strawberries.
Right.
There's so much colour to choose from here. Eat a rainbow of fruits and vegetables, including lots of different varieties, and you won't go far wrong. The next shelf on the food pyramid Emer is the milk, cheese and yogurt shelf. And these foods are grouped together because they're our main sources of calcium in the Irish diet. And during pregnancy, you need 3 servings or 3 portions of these foods every day to make sure you're getting enough calcium for you and your baby. So we start with milk. So there's so many different types of milks available now. I would suggest you go for a low-fat milk because it contains the same amount of calcium as regular whole milk, but it contains half the fat. So that's a good choice. And again, if you put milk in a drink or if you cook with milk, you still get all of the calcium. So we pop some milk in our trolley there. Yogurt, then again, there's a huge array of yogurts to choose from in the supermarket. I've just gone for a low-fat natural yogurt here. You can put it onto breakfast cereal with muesli, onto chopped fruit, or just have as a snack at your desk in the afternoon.
Okay.
And then we have an array of cheese to choose from. Now, cheese can become a little bit more difficult when you're pregnant because there are some cheeses which you should avoid. So cheddar cheese, a really popular cheese and a very good choice for calcium. About an ounce or a matchbox size of cheddar cheese would contain the same amount of calcium as 1 glass of milk. If you want to go for a slightly lower option, lower fat option, Edam would be a little bit lower in fat than cheddar, but still a really good choice. So I'm going to pop those cheeses in there.
And I've heard there's some cheeses that can be dangerous during pregnancy and I should avoid them. Which ones would they be?
Yeah, that's right. There are cheeses that you need to avoid. And unfortunately, they may be cheeses that you really like, but for the few months of pregnancy, you need to avoid those cheeses. And they're the ones that are made from unpasteurized milk, or very often an easy way to remember them is the softer cheese. So brie, camembert, the blue cheese, they're best avoided during pregnancy. Now, if you're not sure, it's a good idea to read the label. Very often you'll find, for example, here, it says unpasteurized cow's milk on this label here. Okay, and they're the ones you need to avoid during pregnancy because there is an extra increased risk of food poisoning bacteria that may make you unwell. So steer clear of those. If you're on any doubt, just ask at the cheese counter. The next shelf on the food pyramid is the protein shelf. So by that I mean meat, fish, chicken and eggs. And also for vegetarians, we include some beans and lentils and pulse vegetables in here as well. So what we need is about 2 servings a day. It's not a huge amount from this shelf, but this is going to give us protein and iron that both you and your baby need. So red meat is a really good source of iron, so I'm going to pop some red meat into the trolley here, a nice piece of steak. Then lean chicken, again, is very low in fat and is a good source of protein. So we'll put some chicken in there. Now, fish is a really good food to eat while you're pregnant. It's full of nutrition, and particularly it contains the omega-3 fats in the oily fish. So I'm going to pop some oily fish into the trolley here as well.
It can be a little bit confusing sometimes. Which ones are the oily fish and which ones are regular?
Okay, so there's the white fish and the oily fish. The oily fish would be salmon, mackerel, herring, sardines. They would be the ones, they tend to be more strongly flavoured. And they're packed full of omega-3s. The other fish then, plaice and whiting and hake, they're really good sources of nutrition as well and good sources of protein. So maybe trying to have 1 oily fish and 1 white fish every week would be a great start. I'm also going to include some eggs into our trolley here because eggs are also a food that are found in the protein shelf. They're a great source of protein and they are low in fat and can be cooked in so many different ways. The important thing to remember is not to eat runny or undercooked eggs or no raw eggs while you're pregnant. And again, that's for food safety reasons to make sure that you don't pick up any food poisoning bacteria from eggs. So cook them well, avoid any raw eggs, so no cheesecakes or mousses which are made with raw egg as an ingredient, no homemade mayonnaise, for example, which has raw eggs. So cook them well in omelettes, scrambled egg, poached egg on toast. They're a really handy, versatile food to have in the fridge. So enjoy them while you're pregnant. They're high in protein and a good start to the day.
I've heard that there's some foods that I have to avoid altogether. Like, can I have tuna fish, for example?
Well, that's right. There are some foods to avoid, and tuna is one of the foods that during pregnancy you just have to limit the amount that you eat. So it's 1 fresh tuna steak a week is fine, or no more than 2 medium-sized tins of tuna per week. Now, the reason for that is that tuna fish may be high in mercury. Other fish that would be similar would be swordfish, shark or marlin, not as commonly eaten in Ireland as tuna fish.
Okay.
So just limit the amounts of those that you eat and that would be absolutely fine. Also shellfish, people are often concerned about shellfish. Shellfish is fine during pregnancy once it's well cooked. Okay? So no raw or undercooked shellfish, just cooked very well in a curry or a stir fry, so that will be absolutely fine to eat when you're pregnant. And then finally, pate is something else that people have probably heard a little bit about. All of these foods are perfectly fine and healthy foods to eat when you're not pregnant, but just during pregnancy you need to avoid pate because it is very high in vitamin A, and vitamin A is another nutrient that too much of vitamin A during pregnancy may not be such a good thing for your baby.
Okay.
So fresh tuna and tinned tuna, to limit the amounts of those. Shellfish should be well cooked and avoid pate during pregnancy.
Okay.
The last two shelves of the food pyramid contain fats, butters, margarines, and the sweets and cakes and treats, foods that we all enjoy eating, but we need to limit the quantities of these foods because they are high in fat, and very often some of them can be very low in nutritional value.
Okay.
So we're going to pop them into the trolley here, and we're going to put in a little bit of olive oil, which is great for if you're stir frying, a nice way to cook vegetables, but use it sparingly because it is high in fat and high in calories. I also have some rapeseed oil, again, which is very popular at the moment, and it's a really good source of the omega fats that we spoke about earlier, omega 3 and 6. So that would also be a good option to have in your cupboard for making a salad dressing or for using in a little bit of cooking. And I just brought a little treat for us here to have after all this shopping. So 2 little small chocolate bars. Again, chocolates or cakes or biscuits, they really should be used sparingly in small amounts because they're high in calories, but we all enjoy them and they're perfect to include in our trolley from time to time.
I've heard a lot about supplements as well. So if you eat all of these things, do you also have to have a supplement on top of that?
Well, there is one supplement which is vital before and during pregnancy, and that's folic acid. So even if you eat a great diet and including lots of different foods, you still need to take your folic acid supplement before and in the first trimester of pregnancy. So I'm going to pop that in here with our pregnancy food pyramid. So I'm going to put the folic acid in because that really is very important to help to reduce the risk of spina bifida in the unborn baby. There's a lot of discussion about vitamin D at the moment, and it would be worth having a chat with your doctor or your midwife about perhaps taking a vitamin D supplement because it's often called the sunshine vitamin, and in Ireland we don't tend to get enough sunlight action on our skin to produce enough vitamin D. The food sources of vitamin D would be eggs, which we have in our trolley, the oily fish, and also some fortified foods have extra vitamin D added. But it might be worth having a chat with your doctor about vitamin D.
Okay.
So I'll pop it into the trolley. We've shopped today, Emer. We have a full trolley in front of us, and we've kept in mind the pregnancy food pyramid. So just to remind ourselves, all of these foods here at the back of the food pyramid, the carbohydrate foods for energy, we have our wholemeal varieties for fibre, and we need 6 or more servings of those foods every day to make sure you're getting enough energy while you're pregnant.
Okay.
So this is the porridge, the wholemeal breads, rice, pasta and potatoes. Then we chose a selection of fruits and vegetables for vitamins and minerals, some dark green leafy vegetables for iron, and lots of berries there and citrus fruits for vitamin C.
Okay.
And again, it's 5 servings every day from that group. Then we got our milk, cheese and yogurt for calcium to make sure that you and your baby have strong bones, and it's 3 servings a day from that group. So a glass of milk, a carton of yogurt or an ounce of cheese. Our protein foods then, we have our red meat, we have some nice lean chicken, some oily fish and eggs. So these foods are important for protein and for iron in the red meat and the omega 3 fish oils, which are vital for pregnancy and for both you and your baby. And then we have a couple of just the oils and some chocolate bars there from the top shelf of the food pyramid. Again, small amounts because we just need a small amount of those foods for health. And then we have popped in some supplements, so folic acid, and have a chat with your doctor if you needed to take supplement really with your doctor or midwife. So that's the pregnancy food pyramid. I hope that'll help you, Emer, making food choices in the last few months of your pregnancy. And I'd like to wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.